There are forming processes by which which the body breaks down medications, and this is anything you consume. We talk about drugs in a particular way, but I've got my caffeine, I use my ibuprofen when I need to. These all affect the body and the brain. So we need to stop with the whole dichotomy between what is a drug and what is not. If it's a bioactive substance, then it's going to be, it's going to go through the body in a specific way. So first we have absorption, and that depends on, where is it touching the body first. So if we inhale smoke, that's going directly into our lungs. If we take an edible, that's going to go through our digestive system. If it's a topical, it's going to, hopefully be absorbed by the skin. So that's the first step, is absorption. Then we have metabolism. So again, it's considered first pass metabolism if it's going through the stomach and the digestive system. Smoking is going to bypass first pass metabolism, and that's why the effects come on more quickly. And there's always people unsure about how edibles work, and their onset of action is much slower because they do have to pass through the digestive system and then get into the bloodstream. So then we have distribution. So once it's in the body, it's going to travel up to different areas, of course, the brain. And then the final excretion step is basically, when it gets out of the body and how long it takes to get out of the body. When it's metabolized in the liver, this is where we see some drug-drug interactions. So cannabis is broken down through CYP450. It's a common pathway, and it's affected by a lot of different medications. So there's a possibility of, drug-drug interactions of pretty much every drug that's approved. There's when you have an approved drug that's prescribed by your doctor, you get this long document nobody reads called the prescribing information. And there's a list of drug-drug interactions. And so a physician and a pharmacist needs to be very, very clear on what those drug interactions are, and to not prescribe two drugs together that are going to produce adverse effects. So that's really the crux of what we're talking about in terms of safety. And then we have the situation where, okay, now cannabis is in the brain doing its thing. Now, there's a lot of data that have come out saying that, cannabis can negatively impact the adolescent brain. And, development is an important time. The brain kind of stops, I would say, developing in your late 20s. And it's interesting because that's when you see patients with schizophrenia actually presenting with a lot of their first symptoms. So in terms of schizophrenia, a lot of patients go through the prodromal phase, and that basically means that symptoms are starting to emerge and they don't really know what's going on. So that might be happening in sort of the high school to college years. So there's this chicken and egg situation that's still being hotly debated in the literature. We know that there's a correlation between cannabis use and schizophrenia. However, we don't know if patients that are experiencing these sort of early symptoms may be self-medicating with cannabis, and that's where that correlation comes from, or cannabis is contributing to schizophrenia. So there's so many studies published.
Correlation and causation aren't necessarily the same, are they? No,
very, very different things. Yeah.
Funny thing